Need to share the link to Facebook. Now I'm back. Oh, see if we can do this tonight without all the buffering and for some reason my iPad updated itself. I don't usually approve of updating stuff, but sometimes it happens. So now I'm trying to get it all back. See if we can get some chat. Hey, there y'all is. I gotta skip a survey. Texas, Randall Armstrong, Dave's here, Betty Kinney, Chad Smith. So hopefully tonight we can do this without all the buffering. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We are not cooking tonight. Michelle has done made biscuits, meatloaf, stewed squash. Brody had mad macaroni. Come in and talk to us, Brody. What you got going on? He's running around with a toy count pistol and having him a war. John Bright, how are you? Jimmy Sullivan, uh, JL327, Raymond Rogers, John from outside the pulpit. Good to see you tonight. I have been fishing all afternoon and I was going to film, but I really didn't. I just decided about halfway through that I was not going to film everything. There's y'all's boy up there. I decided that I was catching a lot of little ones and I was spending a lot of time trying to locate structure, locate stuff. I went to Oak Tibby today and I caught some fish, but I caught about, I don't know, 7 or 8 keepers. And I wound up throwing them, put them in a live well. And one thing I like about a live well, I know a lot of people like to put their fish on ice. And if you are going to clean them, putting them on ice firms that meat up and makes the meat a little better. I like putting them in a live well because if something happens, I decide, you know what, I ain't going to keep these. Or if I've kept some smaller ones and start getting on some really good ones, I can put some fish back in the water that. So anyway, I caught a good many small ones and I just quit. I was like, well, I was spending a lot of time. And then one thing, filming with this iPhone out there in the heat, man, it don't like it. It just don't like it. So I'm gonna about wind up having to start back filming with a GoPro some. I may wind up buying me a new GoPro. The GoPro will handle the heat, but you got to hook it to a battery pack. The problem I don't like with a GoPro, which mine, the back display has went out on it for whatever reason. Can't see nothing. Don't know what you're looking at. Don't know if it's recording or not. It does have a thing come up on the front tells you it's recording, but the problem I don't like about it in general on one that's working properly is the battery life. You'll be recording all of a sudden, bloop, and batteries just don't last that long. And I've got several batteries, but I can hook it to a battery pack. But that's just something else you got to wag around and have ready to hook up and in the way when you limited on where you can mount stuff. But anyway, those of you just joining in, Michelle cooked inside earlier. She had supper ready a little earlier. And I come in and brought Brody a turtle for the turtle race tomorrow. He'll tell y'all all about that in a little bit, and his turtle. We got that ready. We had to get all the minnows out of the boat, put them in I put them in my bait tank down there. I've got it circulating and aerators in it, and that's just where I keep my minnows. So leftover minnows goes in there. So hopefully next week, I wanted to take my dad early in the morning fishing. So it's good to have minnows here that I can put my minnows in my bait tank and I don't have to go to town to get him. So Richard said, "Where's my plate?" Hey, there's plenty of meatloaf left. Michelle had cat head biscuits, meatloaf, stewed squash. So we've done went ahead and eat. She said, "Let's just eat in here." She's in there reading a book. We've been watching Ryan Hall. So any of y'all in the upper Oklahoma, lower Kansas, some upper Kansas, even I think now in Memphis area, a lot of bad weather going on, tornado warnings. We kind of watched Ryan Hall a good bit when there's bad weather going on. And so any of y'all that's in those areas, keep your heads down, stay safe. I know it can be a harrowing experience with tornado weather because we usually go through it pretty early. So now we got pop-up showers. In fact, today on the lake, when I went to leave about 2 o'clock, there was a storm come by the edge of the lake, and which it wasn't really on the lake, but I could see it good across the lake. So I decided, you know what, I was about well done. I'm talking about it was hot, and I forgot my straw hat. So I fished, hunted structure, marked some structure, found some new structure, found a lot of little fish, found one top that was loaded down with channel cat, and I caught a couple of them, but I decided before I left, I said, I'm putting everything back. I don't feel like cleaning fish, don't need to clean fish. So let me go back and see if I missed anything of any importance. John Newton, you'll be happy to know I've got scales put on your knife, handles on it. But I've got to do the shaping and all of that and make you a sheath. But I am working on your knife, bud. Rotisserie chicken sounds good, Chad Smith. I like a rotisserie chicken. David Russia said my bees almost went overload. Been adding a super. How the good folks? Good to see you tonight, David Russian. I hadn't checked my bees a week. I did pull the waterers out the last time that they went empty, which was really about a week ago. And I left them to the first of this week. And I took the waterers out, the sticks out. I opened my boxes all the way up. The peas are blooming out here behind me. We've got some other stuff blooming around. There's a big patch of zinnias blooming, so there's some stuff starting to develop for them to eat. When I first put mine in, we were right at the end of the flow, and a lot of the stuff had quit, and we left a patch of clover. And I do have a good bit of clover around the yard that they feed on, but I need to get me a smoker and go check them here in probably next week sometime. We're supposed to have rain all this week, but I figure it's just gonna be they'll take a lot of it out for the weeks out, I figure. Brody John said hello to you. Hey, Joe. We went last night, y'all, and eat with Mr. John Culpepper and Mike Culpepper and Miss Janet Culpepper. Now, Mike and Janet is John's mama and daddy, for those of you that don't know. But we went and eat with them. They had bought some pottery from Michelle. And we went and met them and eat with them, had a good time last night. Magnolia Mama. Auntie's World, how are you tonight? Belinda. I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm gonna skip somebody. There's Jules 52. Trying to catch up with some of these names. Reed Mitchell. Reed, they wasn't any of them today slabs. It just all of them was little fish. I mean, some of them was real little. And some of them tops I was messing with. What I was doing was looking for tops because my electronics, I don't have anything marked. And that's the key to this live scope fishing. If you've got tops marked where you can pull up and look at the top and you can see if there's fish on it, and boom, you can go to the next one. If you can got a bunch of tops marked, you can go in a matter of 2 or 3 hours, catch you a limit of crappie, come home. It is very feasible. But with me, I don't have anything marked. Don't really know right where a lot of stuff is. I know what generally what I'm looking for, So I found and marked probably 10 different spots today. One area I looked in that I know there's some structure in that area and I never could locate it. I kept seeing these big columns of shad like they were spiraling. And I would think, well, that's some kind of structure there. And I'd pull up, try to big on fish around it, and all of a sudden it would move. I was like, what? So I figured out, hey, hey, and I saw some catfish today, y'all. It's huge on that thing. But I spent the day using it to mark structure because my other smaller units, the map on that little Garmin unit that I've got is horrible. It don't even show the water. And I don't I need to sit down and do some research on it. There's supposed to be a way to get probably better maps downloaded or something to it. But anyway, that's what I spent the day doing. Really was marking a lot of structure, and I was going. So one of them tops I pulled up on, there was fish all in it. I finally caught a brim out of it. I was like, well, I knew they was fish, and then I kept throwing jigs over it, and I caught them on some of them on minnows. I caught channel cat was all in one top. I didn't realize, but this top was full of channel cat, but it was up in about 4 foot of water, so. Oh, and I knew when I found that top, I was like, well, there's fish up in there. And I went up in there fishing. So I did all right. I didn't waste my day. I marked some stuff that we'll eventually have, but some of it had some decent fish on that I couldn't get to bite. Just because you can see a fish don't mean you can catch him. But I knew that going in. Richard said got his grass mowed today in case it floods next week. I did my grass mowing the other day here and weed eated, and I got all my garden cleaned up, got the peas out here. I plowed them. I went through my peas and sprayed post this week. I'm hoping I plowed it. The middles is clean, but in with the peas, the grass is starting to outgrow the peas. So how many of y'all have sprayed post? Is post emergence? It's a high yield product that I bought. It's expensive. A little bitty bottle was $25, but I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't. I 25, which I didn't use all of it, and I probably didn't use $8 worth of it. I mean, it's got enough for about 4 doses, 4 sprayings in that thing. But I figured it cost me more to if I hoed it all than anything. What are you doing? You got a briar. Roscoe's bad eating his head scratched, ain't he? Jody Van Dever, I'd love to come fish Sam Rayburn sometime, and maybe one day it'll be where I can afford to make some trips off to some of these other lakes. I have yet to fish Grenada Lake, and this fall I may go up there and fish it. I don't really care anything about going up there during the spawn. I'd rather fish the fall of the year. That's really when I'd rather chase crappie when it starts cooling back down and you can stand being out on the water. I'm probably fixing to. I'm gonna do some crappie fishing the next couple of weeks, a couple of trips, but then I'm gonna probably put the boat up and hang up the fishing poles as far as the lakes go. I'll be targeting Grinnell, and I may take the boat and go down there and Grinnell fish out of it. We still may go do some catfishing, but I'm gonna probably hang up the Grinnell fishing for. I mean the crappie fishing for a little bit after I do a couple of more trips, and I have got to go back and get on my beaver trapping. I quit it before I should have, and I have left my traps down there, tripped, but left them down there, and I don't know what kind of shape they in. They could be rusted to no end. But it started raining a lot, and it was boggy where I was going, and it rained every week there for a while, and I was like, well, I just for whatever reason, I got out of the going down there. So we have got to go get back on the beavers here. So I'm gonna have to taper off on my fishing. Hard Pines, we got a random thunderstorm, but other than that, it's a beautiful day. It has been a beautiful day here. It was beautiful down there on the lake for the most part. It was bad hot. I drank up a bunch of water and Gatorade. But anyway, it's been a beautiful day here in Mississippi. William Roberts, you did have good results with it. My dad has used it some, so Hunt and Fish said, "What's up? Traveled through Mississippi this week. Beautiful state." Well, thank you. I do think Mississippi is beautiful in areas. We like every other state. We've got some rough areas. Some of these little backcountry areas, they don't pick up the garbage. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Why are we talking about beautiful Mississippi? It used to be a slogan that said "Keep Mississippi beautiful," and it was, don't litter, and I try not to litter. Now, every now and then, yeah, there'll be a ice bag or something fly out the back of the truck that I didn't mean to leave back there or whatever. It happens. But uh, the thing I don't understand is instead of mowing the grass, and I realize it takes a lot of fuel to mow the grass, but we ride around and we spray a lot of poison. And it just turns brown and, in my opinion, looks awful. I'd just as soon, and this is my personal opinion, and I realize there's a lot of safety stuff and can't see deer crossing all this kind of stuff. But I'd rather see the roads growed up than they'd spray them and then you can see all the garbage because here, a lot of the places, they won't pick the garbage up. We got areas that they keep it picked up in. It's very beautiful. But I've done come to the conclusion there ain't no such thing as stopping some folks from throwing trash out. They just gonna do it. Apparently you can't catch them. I guess they're doing it at night. So, what do y'all think about that? I'd just soon if they wouldn't go and cut it to just leave it alone. At least when it grows up, I can't see the garbage, and then I can stop and if I find me a mullein growing on the side of the road, I can pick it. Now, what do y'all think about it? Y'all like them spraying it? Here's another downside to the spraying. Aside from the use of poisons and all of that, which that don't really bother me too much. But the birds is out there knocking the plums out of the trees. But it starts eroding the ditch banks once they do that. Nathan Kelly, Turkey Hunter 325 from Tuscaloosa. Enjoy you just in time on Sunday. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, Nathan Kelly. Good to see you tonight. Country Time Store in Hattiesburg was a good place to stop and pick up some local produce. What Hunt Fish, what highway did you travel up? Did you go up 45 or did you go 49 up to Meridian? Anyway, right south of Meridian, there's a Mathis Peaches thing that's got good produce and stuff. Oh, you have been up here wanting your head rubbed a lot, and I'm gonna have a blister rubbed on you. I didn't take old Roscoe fishing with me today, and the reason was he really didn't act like he wanted to go this morning. I think he knew. Uh, he would have went if I'd have just said, "Come on." But it got pretty hot yesterday, and I wasn't intending on staying a long time today, which I stayed to about 2. I fished from about 9 till about 2. Well, 8:30 till about 2. And I meant to leave and come on home about 12 if you want to know the truth, because it's pretty hot. But that was the reason I didn't take old Roscoe. I knew he'd burn up out there. Kewanee, Mississippi. I guess I'm not familiar with Kewanee. I've heard the name, but I ain't familiar with. Richard, if they would pick up the trash and mow would be the ideal thing. I don't know. I don't like one thing I like to be able to ride and find medicinal plants that I don't really got no business with. I mowed a lot of my medicinal stuff down this week. I've got an area down here that's on my dad's property that we let grow up. I told her, I said, don't mow this. I come down here and film and hunt medicinal plants. Well, it had done we hadn't cut it in about 3 years. And I really hadn't filmed nothing. I said, well, you know what? I can find what other plants I want to find, other places. Let's clean this up. So I went down there to bush hog. I put the bush hog on the tractor and went down there. I had to bush hog my potatoes. Uh, well, the potatoes had done died, but the grass and the hog briars was up about head high, so I had to bush hog that. And then first of next week, sometime I'm gonna plow up my potatoes. I should have stayed here and done it today, but I wanted to fish. But I got down there and started bush hogging all that stuff. And there's a branch, which I call it a branch. It's a little old creek ditch. It's about 4 foot wide. I've filmed it in a bunch of older videos down there finding mushrooms and picking plants and whatever else. But I was bush hogging along up, and it comes out in the edge of that field just a little bit. I didn't see it. I run the tractor off in it. It's about 4 or 5 foot deep, too. The tractor dropped off like this. We had to get a neighbor over here with a big tractor to come down there and hook to me and pull me out. Big ordeal down there we had going on Thursday evening. But we did get the tractor out, and then the man that come pull me out, he's got one of them 15-foot bush hogs. So Mr. Motor Fulton helped me finish bush hogging. So thanks to him, which I told him thank you, but thanks again to him. He pulled me out, helped me get the rest of that mess cleaned up. And I wanted to clean up so now the medicinal plants they'll pop back up smaller. But there was a lot of poison hemlock growing in that mess, everything else. Chad Smith, I have been taking notice of the fact that it's not buffered today. I did make sure that I closed everything out on my phone, and I made sure that the TVs were off, which I had did that last week. So I don't know. Maybe they just got the bugs worked out. I don't know. I just say thank you, Jesus, that the live is working because I was really getting frustrated with it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Everything I have been doing has gotten frustrating in the last little while, and I've just kind of kicked back and said, you know what, I'm gonna film what I want to film when I want to film it. I'm not gonna struggle to try to get 2 or 3 videos out every other. And I have it's helped me. My mental state of being is a whole lot better now. So we back in the swing of things, and if the live will keep working right, we good to go. So it's all gonna be all right. I ain't near about thinking about quitting, but after you've done something for 7 years and then everything starts going haywire on you, you get frustrated. So I'm human like everybody else. We call it the mully grubs. Y'all ever get the mully grubs? I got over it though. I tightened my bootstraps up, put my big boy britches on, so we're gonna have to keep going. Can't quit now. Jason said, what part of Mississippi you in? I am outside of Philadelphia, Mississippi, out in the outer parts of Neshoba County. Clay Hatchie, Alabama says, keep up the good work. Thank you, Randy Edwards. What? Huh? We're going to church in the morning. Come over here and get in this rocking chair. You got something to talk about. Tell them what you got out there in a Tupperware tub.
A dead fish and a big thing.
Well, hang on. Get over here where they can see you. Tell them what's going on.
I got a dead fish and a big thing.
What is in there?
A turtle and a dead fish.
Well, tell them. Tell them about what.
Comment.
I'll read the comments in a minute. You tell them about what's going on. Why you got a turtle?
Well, tomorrow we're having a turtle race at the church. And I fed a dead manner to the turtle, and that turtle does not mess around.
That turtle don't mess around.
Yeah, he
What else was you feeding him?
plantain.
You know what plantain is? What's plantain good for?
Yeah.
Heal you? Yeah, good for stings and bites. Well, go on and tell them about your turtle. Tell them all about it. You named him. Quit clawing. You got red bugs.
Anyway, I got ants in my britches.
Yeah. Well, tell them about your turtle.
But I fed it. Well, I named his name is Darth Vader. Y'all heard of that movie, Star Wars?
You named the turtle Darth Vader. So you been out there meddling with that turtle all evening. You got him trained.
Now I just been feeding him plantain with just one dead fish.
One dead fish.
I think he was alive, and then I just went and picked him up, found him, picked him up, fed it to my turtle.
We may have to give him some coffee in the morning before he'll be ready to go for that turtle race. Reckon? Reckon we need some coffee.
We need to feed him another dead fish.
Another dead fish. Well, in the morning, if we get in charge, we might have to feed him a live one, Reckon?
Yeah, we'll cool him from that freezer.
What else will we do to that turtle? We washed him.
Yeah, we washed him and put a Streeter Outdoor sticker on him.
Yeah, we took the car washing brush and I were down in there. I told Brody he had that minnow right down there in front of that turtle's face, and I said, "Son, that turtle's got a neck that long. You'll be nipped your finger off. You'll be drew back a nub." He said, "What?" He tickled me though. I was sitting here studying for my just in time, reading through some stuff in the Bible. He come running in. He said, "That turtle don't mess around."
No, he literally tore that minnow up. I can't wait to feed him a live one.
John wanted to know what you did with all them rocks.
They're still there in the car in the cup.
You left them in the car in a cup. How many rocks do you have? Did you count them?
I'll count them.
You forgot about them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Forgot about them when I went to sleep. But when I woke up, I didn't forget about them.
So how many rocks you got out there?
I don't know, maybe 20.
If them people that own that business has seen how many rocks he got out of the parking lot, they'd have charged him for 'em.
What does that mean?
Well, they had to pay somebody to haul them in there and dump them in that parking lot.
So they'll pay me?
No, they're gonna charge you. You got to pay them for them rocks you stole.
I did it before.
We're gonna be watching a policeman go show up at the door who says his business down there wanting their rocks back.
I got a piece of wet glass. I mean, a green crystal. I got a green crystal.
A green crystal.
Yeah.
No, what are you gonna do with that?
Put it in a grinder.
A grinder? Oh, why am I yawning? It ain't even dark. I got up pretty early this morning.
Anyway, that turtle messed that matter up. Can't wait to feed him more. We're gonna feed him a lot.
Jason said energy drinks it might fight the other turtles. We just need it. What they do is they take a tub and put it upside down over all the turtles, and they draw a big circle around it, and they take the top off, and whichever turtle makes it to the line out there runs away from them first wins. So
Oh, it's my turtle. I know. Have I won the turtle race?
what you'll have to do is you'll have to get you some of them, them poppers you throw on the ground, they pop, and you have to throw them behind him and make him run.
Can't wrangle.
Oh, they done rolled that out?
Yeah.
Well, sir.
No, sir.
Reckon we put some turpentine on his tail and make him run.
What's that?
We'll put some turpentine. It's a liquid down there you clean paint stuff with.
There's a bird?
I might, probably. Richard said feed him some pepper. You gonna feed him, but you gonna wear that rocking chair out. He's he's gonna utterly destroy that rocking chair before he gets through with it.
I'm sandpapering it right now.
Sandpapering it.
When am I gonna spray that manor, the alive manor to the turtle?
Huh?
When am I gonna spray the alive manor to a turtle?
We'll do that. We'll do that in the morning. No, you'll be. I knew I ought not to mention it. You'll be fed all my good manners to the turtle.
I'll find the littlest one.
I don't. I might want to fish with the littlest one.
You catch a little fish like you did today.
Well, that's all right. Catching little fish is better than catching no fish.
Well,
It's easier to catch little fish than it is big fish.
you got like 100 more that.
Hey, I don't discriminate. I'll catch little fish, big fish. It don't matter to me.
Is there any more? Today?
What?
I want to show you any more today.
Oh. Brenda Joe Greenhouse said put a cricket on a string and drag it in front of him, make him run.
You can't break it to the string.
Why?
I don't know.
You tie one of them minnows on there and drag it in front of him, he might run after it, reckon.
It might get as long as they can get the manor.
We're gonna have to. How do you train a turtle to race?
It's like how they train your dragon.
I don't think it's the same as training a dragon. Huh?
Have you ever watched How to Train Your Dragon?
I hadn't never watched How to Train a Dragon.
It's toothless.
Toothless. Did you watch it? How do you train it?
You don't want to know.
Oh. Well, you might not ought to tell it then.
It's weird. Yeah, just don't. Yeah, it's weird.
Y'all, is it hot where y'all at? I'm gonna tell y'all. We about to burn up down here. The humidity is killing us.
It's a little bit.
It's still right now about 90-something degrees under here. Maybe right below 90. I can't tell. Petey Fresh Air, how are you tonight? I fixed to pull up the I thought I had, I got Weather Underground app on this iPad.
What's it called?
This is 84 right here in Mississippi tonight.
You guys start reading comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Is Alicia stranger out here?
I ain't seen her tonight. Alicia Thomas was on here.
Who was commenting about the lots?
That is Miss Jennifer Ocean Homestead that comments about the Sparkles, the monster. She'll be on here after a while, ask you about Sparkles. And no, he ain't cleaned his room still up either. Sparkles gonna have to make it into that room and clean that floor up. So what's gonna have to happen. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm the one in charge of buying birthday presents next month. Brody's birthday is July the 17th. And before it rolls around, if that room ain't clean, they ain't gonna get no toys for his birthday. May not even have no birthday party.
Y'all better, one of y'all better send me a pet dog.
You need to get you a mounted guard to hang on the wall.
Yeah, and I want a pet one.
Thank you, Petey. He said my letter was in the mail. That is my the deer camp that I am now joined into, Mr. Petey is up in it and helped me get into that deer camp. So we got a place to hunt. I've got to at some point go get my shooting houses out of the old deer club and bring them home, and then figure out what I'm going to do up there. And I've got several ladder stands and stuff, but I don't know. I'm gonna probably bring everything home, pile it up somewhere around here till I figure out what's going on. Boy, that strap is a screaming for mercy up there. Randy Ward said, about time for a great cooking video. You know, I have not really tried to film a cooking video in quite a while. I've done most of my cooking on my lives, and after doing that, I kind of got away from doing cooking videos. But I do need, and I tell you what, I want to film. I want to film poached salad, cooking, and cornbread. I just think that'd be a good. Yeah, Tom Cox here. Our heat index today was, I think they said 107 here. And I was out there in the middle of that water in an aluminum boat, and I felt every bit of it. The good thing is with that T-top, I can go back there and get me a bottle of water out of that ice cooler and sit under the canopy, and I can sit there in the shade for a little bit and drink water and forget about them fish. It's about need a camp and cook video. We do need to do that. Probably whenever I do go back to the beaver traps, we'll probably go down there and pull traps up. And I need to talk to my guy I'm working for and see what area I need to hit, but probably camp out wherever I tear out beaver dams and set traps and stuff, camp out down there, and we'll film cooking something there will be the thing to do. Boil it 3 times and fry it with eggs and onions. Usually I just make it like turnip greens. I'll boil it 3 times and then and just cook it down, and then I'll put it up like turnip greens and cornbread. It's good. That is one of my favorites. But there's a lot of people that scramble it with eggs and several different things. Bobby, you won't never believe I ordered that hammock off of Amazon. That thing was less than $10 when I bought, or about $10. I don't remember. But yes, sir, it has been a good one. Brody has well got our money out of this hammock. This like a $5 Yeah, y'all see Petey's comment. He said you'll enjoy it up here. We like to do a lot of cooking and fellowship. We cooked steaks up there last year. I went and eat Mr. David Barrier that makes knives down here. He's in this club as well. And in fact, Mr. David Barrier was supposed to go fishing with me this morning, and I got up with him about daylight, and his leg he's had knee surgery not too off, had a knee replacement not too awful long ago. He said he didn't feel like it was hurting him. He didn't feel like going sitting in the boat this morning. But so we'll go up there. We'll be all together doing some cooking up there at the deer camp. No, that'll be y'all. We'll film some of that, and they have a good time. The club we was in, we didn't ever do any cooking in. So Douglas Harlows. Samuel Pruitt asked a good question, y'all, on the poke salad, which is poke weed or poke root. Why boil it 3 times? I think I heard there's poison, poke that is. So yes, poke weed is it's not really considered poisonous. It's considered toxic, which is the same thing in layman's terms. Technically speaking, it has a slight difference. But what it does is when you boil it, it weakens it, and you boil out some of them toxins, and you strain that off, fill it back up with water, and boil it again. And the third time you boil it, it's supposed to. Some people eat it with the third boiling of water. Some strain that off and put fresh water in it. But what you're doing is boiling it and weakening it down and taking those toxins out to where it's not harmful. It has a lot of medicinal value. So here's the way I explain pokeweed. So we'll get into the medicinal plant side of it for a second. It's very medicinal, very powerful, and it's poisonous to the effect that Tylenol is poisonous. You can eat 4 or 5 pokeberries, swallow them, and eat them whole. The most poisonous part is the seeds and the root. So you don't want to just cut the root up and eat a piece of it. It's liable to kill you, to shut your respiratory system down. So if when you swallow those berries, if you bite them and crunch that seed up, they could harm you. I don't know if eating one that way would hurt you or not, but what we do is we pop them like a pea and just swallow them whole. And you can swallow 4 or 5 or 6 of them. I've heard of people eating 8 of them at a time. That's a lot for me. But they relieve a lot of inflammation. They're a lymph mover. They do several things to the body. So, and I don't know everything off the top of my head. I had to pull my book out and reference. So I'm not a library in my noggin. So, but they're very medicinal. So the same way that if you took a whole bottle of aspirin and ate all of them, they'd kill you. Well, that's the way pokeweed is. It's just very medicinal and it's strong. So if you eat too much of it at a time, it'll kill you. Same way with boiling the leaves. So when you take the leaves and you boil them down and make poke salad, SALET, it's not salad. You make poke salad and eat that, you get medicinal benefits to your body from that. A lot of the old timers would literally eat poke salad pretty regular to help with arthritis, to help with inflammation. The most effective thing was to eat some of the berries along would help with inflammation. So like rheumatoid arthritis and joint pain, it's supposed to reduce that inflammation. And I have found it to be fairly effective. I later found out though that greenbrier root tincture would help with that, and I started using it more. So it don't have any risk. So if I was gonna say, hey, you've got arthritis and you need fighting inflammation, what do you need? I would steer you towards digging up greenbrier roots and tincturing that, and you just chop up the root, however big a pieces, smaller pieces you want, and that's the big tubulars. It ain't like the runners along vines. You got to find that big gnarly tubular thing. I've done plenty of videos on it. And cut that up in pieces and put it in a jar and just pour some old cheap vodka, any old cheap alcohol, clear alcohol over it, and let it set for about a week. Well, about a month. 30 days is what you shoot for. And then you take a spoonful of it. Don't like take the jar and turn it up, swallow it, because then you just get drunk. You're not getting medicinal benefits. That ain't why we're doing this. And a spoonful of that every day for about 2 weeks will start reducing inflammation. And what I found is after you've took it for about 2 or 3, 4 weeks and start, you can stop taking it and it will continue to work for a while. So that is just some stuff that I have experimented with and kind of learned by my personal experience. So I can't sit here and say, "Oh, this is a fact and it's going to do this for everybody." Because humans, we're all different. We react to things differently. Just like peanuts may kill one fella, and I love them. So I mean, you take this with a grain of salt and understand that when you're dealing with a plant and it may affect you differently than it does me. So I ain't a doctor either. Yeah, outdoor poke salad, Annie. Every time I fool with poke salad, that song comes up in my head, huh? You want to know what it looks like? I'm gonna help you out. Now, y'all criticize me on this, but right here, I weed eated the other day and I picked up some stuff. Look at these wild lettuce plants that's growing right here. They growing right up beside this, and there's about 3 of them here. I think this is Lactuca floridana. But anyway, right here is poke salad. And you can see these leaves and you see that red looking stalk down there. This is poke salad. So them leaves right there is young and tender. Now we getting fastly to the time of year that the bugs will get on these. And I mean, I don't know for what reason the bugs here just, I mean, they ravage stuff. And then right here, I cut this down and it is coming back. This is bone set. This right here is good for reducing fever. I have done this by experience. You see how them leaves are, they grow through the middle of the leaf, fuzzy stem, they alternate growing up. Uh, that is bone set. Eupatorium perfoliatum. This, I broke 102.3 fever on my dad. He had, Brody, get off that wash pot. He's using it for us to put that board back on it. He'll be done failed and got hurt. Oh, my dad was running fever for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Well, I mean, a couple of days. Let me get my mind clear before I say something I don't mean. My dad was running fever for a couple of days. I didn't know it. Brody was a baby. And we knew he felt good, but I thought he was getting better the day I talked to him. I went back to mom and said, he's running. He was sitting there shaking. I said, well, what's his fever? How high? She said, we ain't got a thermometer. They hadn't checked it. I run home and got some bone set, got a thermometer and checked it. It was 102.3. And we made some tea out of this. And within 15 minutes, it broke that fever. And when we got to the hospital at Meridian, he didn't have any fever at all. And I told him what I did, and the doctor, he just looked at me and scratched his head, and he didn't know what to think. But we still had to figure out why he was running fever, and he had a pneumonia, and it was pretty severe. So he was in the hospital for a day or two. So just because you break somebody's fever with that, don't mean you've cured them. So it's kind of a emergency thing, and I left that growing right there, which I've got some dried down yonder that I use too when I need it, but fortunately, we hadn't needed no whole lot of it. Uh-oh. So y'all don't laugh at my back of my house being growed up with weeds. I left it. I had one fella come in one of my videos and said, "You need to clean up the back of that house. I said, you need to mind your own business." And just because you don't know what a medicinal plant is, I do. Oh Lord, I shouldn't have been ugly to him though. I paid for that somewhere. Poke salad and pinto beans. Tennessee smoky, that sounds good right there. Samuel, I don't know what castor beans are if you want to know the God's honest truth. John Newton, we have mullein here, but it's sparse. Uh, People that use mullein here have to really hunt it and guard it with a live. I've tried to grow it on my property a few times and I have not had any luck with it. I had one I transplanted to here that grew and did well. What are you doing? What are you putting in there? Don't be running sticks in my grinder. That wood will be all down in there. Don't do that. Look at him. Up there with my corn grinder. Clovis, get off of there. Don't put nothing in that grinder. He's fixing to get him a handful of dirt, but pour it in there. gonna have to whoop Clovis.
And I'm not
Eugene, that's who he is. He mean as Eugene Ledbetter ever thought about being. Jerry Clower said Uncle Versus spent half his time whooping Eugene. Castor beans, that's what they make poison ricin out of. You know, KJB. I don't know what KJB is. Douglas said we can pause for a short whooping.
bad.
What?
We need to do a video of a cooking alligator.
We gotta draw alligator tags and get to catch one before we can do a cooking, because me and you can't legally have no alligator. We can't legally have no alligator.
Got that hole.
We don't have no alligator. No, we don't have no alligator. Hush. He's gonna get us.
What the hell?
Lord, Brody. Hush. You can't have a kid. They'll get you in trouble.
Oh,
KJB is a Russian equivalent of the CIA. Ah, Doug, we done well spoiled this one. I can tell you. 20 years ago when I was raising his sister, y'all would have thought he had been abused. I'd have whooped him so much. But anyway, I didn't even hit the like button on my own video. Why did it put that cat head up there when I done that?
what cat head? Let me see.
It done went away. It just popped up for a second, disappeared.
You took it off.
Hey, you need to pick up your bag and your stuff, go put it in your room.
I recommend you go put your box.
I will. I'll take care of me. You don't have to worry about that.
I get when I
Not near about enough. You need one once a week on general principle. And you ain't got it. That's what the problem is now.
how bad was I when I was little? Growing up.
Jay said you might have to tell that Ledbetter tale about washing them dogs. Oh, Jerry Clower said he was coming, said they had to go take some corn to the grist mill. And they was headed down the road in the mule and a wagon, and said they had, meal up there. Said they'd go, hush. They'd have some ground up for dog bread to feed the dogs, and then they'd have some ground for human consumption. So they was headed to the grist mill. And got down there and said, got by that Ledbetter house over there. Said we was going, and said, man, there was awfulest caterwauling going on, a bellering and a howling you ever heard in your life. And said we pulled and said, Mama was driving a wagon and said, what is that racket? Jerry said, I better get off and go around there and see what in the world's the matter. Said, there ain't no telling what Eugene's doing. He said, sure enough, he said he run back there and rounded the corner of the house. He said Eugene Ledbetter had two of the finest blue tick hounds you ever seen up in a gasoline washing machine. He said, and every time one would stick his head up, said he'd shove it back down in there. Said that thing going, broop, 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 broop. Said he was just swashing them dogs. Said there's soap suds running out all over the ground. And said them dog wanted to stick his head up a hollering, and Eugene would shove him back down in there. And I said, Eugene, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to wash these dogs if it takes the rest of the evening. Douglas Harlows, I go to Williams Brothers every now and then. Yeah, John said he'd been cutting limbs all day, and said every time he picked up the chainsaw, he thought about Marcel and that lightweight McCullough chainsaw. You know, they said he was a representative at one time for McCullough Chainsaw. Said he was a spokesperson. Yeah, you know he they gave Marcel a beer joint one night. Said Marcel said he didn't like school none. He was about like Brody didn't go to school. Said Uncle Percy finally told Marcel, said, if you ain't gonna go to school, said you're gonna have to work. So Marcel got him a secondhand pulpwood truck. Said he was about 14 or 15 years old, and said he'd get up and go haul him a load of pulpwood. And said he had fine Christian teachings. Said he was coming home one day and said it was hot, middle of the summer. He'd been hauling pulpwood all day and said he had to haul it over into the next county to take it. They didn't have a wood yard in their county where they was at. Said he was coming, said, and they had a beer joint over there across the county line. Said Marcel knew better than to buy any of them cool beers. But he said they did also sell them big knee-high belly washers. Said he wanted one of them sodas so bad. Said he pulled that pulpwood truck over and got out. Said all he had on between him and the Lord was a pair of overalls. That was it. No shoes, no shirt, no nothing. He said if it was kindly cool weather, he would button that top button on the side, but he said today it was flopping. Said he walked up there at that screen door and he said, "Hey," fellows said, looked around that door and said, "What you want?" He said, "If you'll hand me one of them cool soda waters through the door," said, "I'll pay you for it. And I'll pay you for the old bottle and I'll drink it while I'm driving home." Said there was 4 or 5 fellows over there playing this him Boo-Ray card game. And said one of them looked around and said, "Didn't you hear him tell you to get away from that door, you redneck?" Said, "We don't want the likes of you in here. Go get you some shirt on, get you some clothes on." Marcel said, "I ain't coming in." Said, "Just hand it through the door and I'll pay you for it. I'll drink it on the way home." Said that man said, "You get away from that door. Get out of him." Said old poor Marcel said he was walking back barefooted across them hot gravels back towards that pulpwood truck. Said he got out there and got by that pulpwood truck, looked over in that toolbox on the back of it, and said he just reached over there and took hold of that lightweight McCullough chainsaw. Said he walked back up to that screen door to that beer joint and said he reached down there and took hold of that start root and said he just stuck a snout of that thing up through them screen wars and said he reeled it up and said he hung it in the side of that door and said reeled it up, said them made them springs and screens and stuff come loose from that door. Said he just took a snout of that thing and reamed him out a hole and stepped inside. And he said, man, they went chaos, went to ensuing. Said folks jumped up, went to running everywhere. Said he went over there and took a swipe at that card table. Said he just took off 2 legs and one swipe. Said old table said flop and hit the floor. And they gave Marcel the beer joint. And they told him and told him he could have anything he wanted. Pulpwood is back when I was growing up. This is true story. Back when I was growing up, my daddy worked offshore. He worked 7 and 7 in the oil field on a barge rig. He was a driller when I was a real little, and then he was pushing tools once I got a little bigger. But his week home for fun, my daddy liked to haul pulpwood. And we always had a pulpwood truck when I was a kid growing up. And the week my daddy was home, we hauled at 5 foot. I think it was 5.5 foot, may have been 6 foot. I can't remember. I think it was 5.5 foot sticks of pulpwood. And what they done is you'd take it up there in this small wood and they would chew it up and make paper out of it, basically, to haul it to the chip mill or make that old press wood and stuff like that. So they called it pulp wood because they would grind it up into a pulp. Uh, but it's we always hauled pulpwood when I was a kid. I mean, it was hard work. And I remember I was probably, I don't know, 12 or 13, and my daddy went and bought a Clark skidder. I mean, big yellow skidder. It was in a briar thicket when we bought it. We drug it out, drug it up on a trailer, and brought it home. And I helped him rebuild that engine out there in the pasture. And we got that thing rebuilt and got that engine running. And it just had an exhaust pipe. It come up out of the front of that thing and cut off right up there at the cow, over the cow. Had a Detroit diesel in it, loudest thing you ever been on, and that's probably why I'm hard of hearing now. And as a kid, at about 12 or 13-year old, my job was to drive that skidder, get off and grab them choker cables and unwind them things and wrap them around that tree. And man, I'd get one or two at a time, and I could run over anything, had that old blade on it, and I could get down and push brush up the pile. Hey, I was living my best life at about 12 or 13 running the skidder. I loved it. And well, that's what we did every weekend. We finally Daddy bought a truck with a side loader, and we could haul that 14-foot wood. And then they got to paying for hardwood, and every now and then we would haul a load of 14-foot logs, good wood, straight wood they'd make boards out of. But a lot of times we was hauling pulp wood steel then, and it's like I said, it's smaller wood, and you could cut all the way down to the tops. And you know, a man back in them days, if he didn't have a job, couldn't find, he had him an old pulpwood truck and a way to get it loaded. You could make $400 or $500 in a day if you would work. Now you can't hardly sell pulpwood, but now you couldn't find nobody that'd get out there and load pulpwood for nothing in the world. So the new chipboard plant over in Alabama burnt down. Oh, I didn't know about that. Uncle Sasquatch got to go put his bird to sleep. Puppy, what are you doing? Come in. They ain't seen you tonight. What you been doing? Tell them what old Pup done this week while you was gone. He chewed the seat off Brody's bicycle, chewed up all the padding off of it. I might have spanked him a little bit for it. Yeah, you're gonna have to get down. You caused it chaos. Yeah. Anyway, after I spanked him that night before, I mean, I put his nose to, don't you leave him alone now. Don't be ugly to him now. He I put his nose that bicycle seat, and I took his nose out there. There was a pile of the foam off that seat in the yard. I put his nose in it, and I spanked him. I didn't just spank him hard, but I give him several good little pops. Oh, he run in the house and run up there and got right under Michelle's feet and just cowered down looking at me. So the next morning, I went and sat on the front porch to drink my coffee. Well, I let him and Roscoe out, give them a treat, and they come outside. And the minute old Pup went over there and he got him a piece of that foam up out of the yard and had it in his mouth. And I said, "Now, Pup," I said, "didn't you get a spanking for that last night?" He stopped. He just stared at me. I said, "I don't believe I'd keep chewing on that." He just said, and it just fell out on the ground. He never looked down there. He just walked off. I said he knew exactly what I was talking about. And you know what? He didn't touch no more of it either. I really wish you'd quit crinkling that. Stop. That's enough record. Where'd you find that bottle of water at? Right there in the refrigerator? He just like to drown it himself with it. You pour it up your nose. I hate I missed that. I didn't get that on camera. He turned it back. That's why what you get sprinkling that bottle all up like that. With Doug Harlow's, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we got enough standing timber around this part of the country for a log truck to come through here no more. I mean, they have about cut every patch of timber they are, which don't really matter. It was fields 50 or 60 years ago. So I know when my mom and dad and them growed up, everything around here was cotton fields, and then they set them out pine trees. Now they cutting it all and found out it now it ain't by the time it got big enough to cut, it ain't worth nothing. I guess it's worth a little, but I don't want them to stop cutting it. I got a bad habit of using toilet paper on a regular basis, so they got to keep cutting it and making it. I ain't gonna fuss about it. Mockingbird up on them gourds. Is the martins gone? I don't see none of our martins. I don't know if they have left. It's got bad hot. I know. I ain't seen very many of them flying around, but that's a mockingbird sitting up there on top of that, just a holler. Y'all hear? Can y'all hear that bird? He's right there on that gourd thing. Oh, he flew. He went over here and got the trees behind us. Brody's four-wheeler parked out there. I've got to work on his carburetor. We turn it on, gas is running out the overflow tube. Raymond Rogers, good to see you tonight. Take it easy. We'll see you on the flip side. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little while. Old pup has done laid down right here. Brody, if you're gonna jump on that thing, you put that pole back on top of that rod. That way, if you accidentally bounce over there, it don't stick through your chin and come out your mouth. Put it on top of that other rod. Hook it together. We need to just take them things off. I worry about them poles are sticking up like that. Chambers of the South said we got a mockingbird up here that mimics a car alarm, complete with the remote shutdown. You're gonna have to record that and make a video for us to watch because I'd like to hear that. Never heard of such. I don't doubt it. I believe you. I'd just like to hear it. Robert Getty said went bear hunting in Quebec, Canada. The outfitters camp, the outhouse had a telephone book sitting in there and no toilet paper anywhere. That was a trip. Well, who'd you call? I bet there was some numbers you couldn't find in there, wouldn't it? Oh, Lord. Y'all, I am burnt up. I mean, look at my arm. White up here, red down there. That sun, I'm gonna have to wear I got a long sleeve shirt and I couldn't find it. Them thin ones, I'm gonna have to order me one of my own hooded shirts because that sun, the back of my neck is char. Doug said, remember the Sears and Roebuck catalog? I've got an old Sears and Roebuck catalog. We found it in something we were cleaning out. It was in an old house or something. And I kept it. It's put up there just because I mean, you don't see them no more. But that was what was in a lot of outhouses around here is old Sears and Roebuck catalog. When I was a kid, we had the J.C. Penney catalog. And I remember every year before Christmas, I would wear that J.C. Penney catalog out the toy section. I mean, I circled everything in there. Now they get on the iPad and go through Amazon. Oh, it's all about the same, just different. I mean, look, we can't complain. Here we are with all this digital technology now. So we ain't no just the way it is, but it's good to reminisce about the old times. They was some good times. Some of them was tough. Chambers, did you go fishing or was you on a lawnmower? Cause I get cooked on both of them. My buddy came over here the other day. We did some horse trading. Mr. Bill that taught me how to run the live scope. I went fishing with him in his boat. He got an ACC crappie stick. He had two of them, and then he had some John Godwin rods. And we fished with both of them. And the John Godwin rods are really good soft tip rods. But said something about the crappie stick. He said, well, I'm going to order me one. But he come over here the other day. He said, let's do some horse trading. I said, all right, I like the horse trade. I said, do some horse trading from now and then. He pulled that rod out of his truck. He said, I got two of these. He said, I'll trade you this rod if you'll make me this knife. And he had a little small knife. I said, we can do that. So I now have me a little ACC crappie stick. I had bought me a Black Max Abu Garcia spinning reel. I hadn't had it no time, and the tip got broke. We'll just put it like that. The tip got broke on it. I was like, man, I really wanted to. I like the way that rod felt. So I finally broke down. I said, I'm gonna go buy me another. I bought me another one. So now I got two of them. I fished with the other one about twice, and I was putting it in the rod box of that skeeter boat I had. And I mean, just pushing it up in there and said, pop, it popped the tip off. And I said, I ain't buying no more. I have fished with it several times, and every time you start reeling, I feel like something crawling in my hair. And it probably is. Every time I fished with it, start reeling, the drag keeps coming loose. Like as you reeling, the drag loosens up. You got to reach and tighten it up every so often. I don't know. It has not proved to be what I thought it was going to be. I like my Abu Garcia bait casters, Black Max, but that little spinning reel, I'm not a fan of it or the rod. So y'all fished with it. I got my bandana. I took it off when I said the blessing a while ago when we ate, and now it's all wadded up in there, and it's irritating me. I'm finna have to go turn a light on out here is what we're fixing to have to do. It's getting dark. J.C. Penney and the Woolworths. Every time I hear the Woolworths, I think about the oh brother, where art thou? He said, we got thrown out of the Woolworths. Lord, I could quote that movie. I don't know. He said, you can't swear my fiance. He said, and you can't marry my wife. Apple cider vinegar on the sunburn takes away the burn. Well, mine don't really have any burn. It's just I'm cooked. It's red, but I probably need to put something on it. Yeah, Douglas, that's one of the reasons I was feeling and checking. we've had a lot of ticks here. Ticks has been bad. But now if I find one stuck to me, I put plantain salve on it straight away or fresh spit poultice plantain. I got a lot of it growing right down there around my shed. But we give the dogs, give Roscoe and Pup the flea and tick pills, and that has helped tremendously. But still, we find one occasionally. But yeah, y'all keep beware of the ticks now. Them things can be bad news.
Hey, Dad.
James of the South said, "I'm so white and pale I can walk. I can walk to the door to the mailbox and back, and my skin starts smoking before I get back to the house." Yeah. John Mobley said it must be a bad batch of those rods. I had mine for a year and a half so far. Well, mine would have held up fishing, but when I went to poke it in there, I mean, I bumped something and it just popped. Like they wouldn't no gill, no, I don't know. And I mean, I had two of them, and I bought them both at Walmart here. They would have probably been in the same shipment. I mean, you know, I'm sure they was the same making. And I don't know if they, you know, when I buy something at Walmart and they ask about that warranty, I don't never buy all that stuff. But you could go back to Walmart probably say, "Hey, this broke." They'd probably hand you another one. But I ain't the kind of person that likes to do that kind of junk. I'm more the kind that like, well, that was a piece of junk, and throw it over there and go buy something different. You know, that's the way I operate. I fixed one, Robert, with a drill bit, and I have fixed them with a nail. I fixed them with several different rods. I have come to be aware that after I'd done that, usually they would snap again at the end of that because it makes a stiff spot in there.
Hey, Dad.
I've not been able to get them to hold up. What? Yeah, you can talk a little bit. What you need to talk about?
Y'all comment how many of y'all's kids y'all have that has Star Wars Lego sets.
Chambers of the South, that plantain video has been getting a lot of views here lately. It's getting more views than my newer videos.
Anyway,
I think they want me to just do medicinal plant video, but every time I do a new medicinal plant, it never would hardly get no views. So I don't know. It's hard for me to figure this algorithm thing out.
Anyway, tomorrow I'm going back to Nana's after church.
Cal Moke, I'm gonna probably go get me some ice cream after a while. It is hot. It's that hot. We should have made Martin Meltzer. Where's Martin Meltzer been the last couple of weeks? He sent me an ice cream maker. We need to get it out and fire it up and use it one night, don't we? Quit digging your nose on camera. Don't. No, I don't.
I'll whack you. I'll give you a good old whack you. Anyway. Yes.
You need to behave.
Anyway. Is the person commenting about sparkles on is she on there?
So you done went from Ohio down to the Kentucky and turned into the Appalachian Redneck Mountain King.
Is Jason McKenzie on here?
Mullen, jewel, we don't have jewelweed here. Jewelweed's one of the things I wished we had. And the last time I went up into the mountains, I throwed a bunch in the back of the truck and brought it home and put it with my plantain salve. But we don't have jewelweed here. We don't have stinging nettle here. So there's a lot of stuff we just don't find.
So anyway, can I talk a little bit more?
Yeah. Yeah, talk.
You better not say anything.
Why?
Hey, your YouTube channel is fine now.
Nope, that ain't how this works.
It is. Ain't that right, yo?
Uncle Sasquatch said you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. That funny or what?
It's fun. Anyway. How many I have? What are those 2 comments? You read the comments and tell me what they say. Alright?
You may have to drive me a box and send them to me.
Anyway.
John Mobley, good to see you tonight. I ain't far behind you, cause driveway mechanic, yes, kudzu has a good bit of medicinal benefits. I've done videos on kudzu. You can also make jelly out of the kudzu blooms, them little purple flowers under there. Kudzu's got a lot of uses. One that I'm going to probably do again is the Spigelia marylandica, the Indian pink root. It's a narcotic. I've not seen many videos on it. I like to do videos that everybody else ain't doing. And there's a pile of videos on plantain and wild lettuce now. I mean, everybody's jumped on that wagon. And the mimosa got real popular. Mimosa's all right, but I tend to lean towards stuff that I actually use. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm heavily pushing my anti-anxiety medicine. I put wild lettuce, cardinal flower, the Lobelia cardinalis, which is, it's Lobelia. I had skullcap in it. We have Scutellaria integrifolia here. And I put maypop, the passion flower, passion fruit vine. I put that in it. And I tinctured it. And y'all, it keeping me from getting stressed out, rattled, and all discombobulated. I've found it to work absolutely wonderful for me for anti-anxiety. Keep you off of them doctors' pain medications and all their antidepressants and all that. The mimosa is good for, like, if you just depressed, just it'll kind of help you get out of that. But the times I've made teas out of it. I have actually not tinctured it. I hadn't found it to actually help a lot. Now it could just be me. I don't know. So that is one of the reasons I haven't done any more videos on it. I tend to test stuff and use it and try it and all of that. And if I find it to actually be effective, that's when I want to do videos on it. Just because something says it's in a book and it's got these properties, if it don't really work and it be effective, I I'm kind of like, well, that didn't really help no whole lot. I don't fool with it no more. So
Can I talk a little bit more now? I was fixing to get mad and go off.
get mad and go. Well, you get mad and go off if you want to, but it ain't gonna benefit you none.
I'll give you a wacky.
I done turned the camera away from you. You go throw that in the garbage before it gets you in trouble. That's what you do. Listen to you through with it. Go put it in that garbage can. Drink the rest of that water. Yeah, hot California too. Yeah, we made plum jelly. We've struggled to get it to set up. I don't know. It didn't turn out exactly as it's set up some, but it's still a little bit runny. Like it didn't get completely solid. So I don't know.
So y'all, um, I can't wait to feed it a live manner again. Another manner.
You're not going down there and getting all my minnows and feeding that turtle.
Oh. I'll get one of the healthy ones tomorrow to give him some extra protein.
Chambers of the South, you need to mix wild lettuce, skull cap, passion flower, and lobelia together and make you a tincture. And I promise you won't find a better anti-anxiety medicine.
Anyway,
Make you a tincture out of that. Try. I've done a video on making it, and I promise you that combination works well.
so if you get a pet turtle, y'all tie it with a shed, a big shed. I mean, a little one of them little baits we have in the coop and the
Manners.
Yeah, one banners. And tie its tail to a rope and tie the other end of the rope to a stick and feed the turtle. You need to do that. You'll have a pet turtle. And then feed it some more stuff just like that.
Why are you telling that? I'm gonna turn the light on.
Alright, anyway. Y'all need to do that. If y'all have a pet guard, you don't need to do that same thing. Unless you just put some of that bait you use as a turtle.
It done about got dark out here, y'all.
If you use turtle for those manners and put it in the water, put a whole skull up in the water.
Douglas said, "I know prunes will keep you moving."
Anyway, the garlic like that.
Elderberries will do that for you too.
The gar is like so big, bigger than the little manor. Like the gar can just swallow the manor whole. I want to see the blood come out of the manor.
Chambers, I've got some stuff I transplanted down here into the medicinal, but I'm fixing to have to go through and work it. I put some trees in there, different. I allowed some trees to grow. I'm fixing to have to cut down, and the elderberries is just taking over. Them things multiply here like crazy. I had to prune it way back at my chicken pen right here. But we have to grow a lot of the elderberries to use it because the birds will just ravage it. Once they start getting ripe, if you ain't on top of it, the birds will beat you to them. But I've got to clean up and cut some of my stuff. But a lot of it I have not had good luck growing it, and I just go find it naturally growing somewhere and harvest it that way. I tried to do medicinal gardening. Some things you can bring in and they'll live and work good, but it's hard to get it all together.
Y'all watch this. I want to show something. Dad, I want to show something.
What?
I want to show him something.
What?
I want to run into the when I touch the trampoline.
Oh.
When I touch the wood part, I want to show him that.
Well, you just did, didn't you?
Okay.
What?
I want my trampoline not to be behind that chair.
Well, how you want that to happen? You want me to move it over here like that right there?
Yeah.
See, you can see it on there. Now go jump and do what you're gonna do. They watching.
I touched the blue part.
JH, if I had his energy, I'd solve every problem I ever had. I could fix everything. He don't ever stop.
1, 2, 3.
It don't need enough to save a rat. Good night, Jody Van Deventer. Thank you so much for watching. This bird just walking under there getting your raspberries. That is one of the things, like with my plums, we loaded down with them. I got more than enough, so I really hadn't fought the birds over them. But I mean, we've had an abundance of plums, and we've made plum jelly. I'm gonna tell y'all what's good. Take a plum. I'll get me a handful of them. It's just fail. I'll go throw them in the freezer for about an hour or two, pull them out and eat them. Hey, they're like popsicles. And you can't let them freeze too long. Now, if your freezers turn way down and they get like hard as a rock, that ain't good. You want them to just start freezing and basically get them real cold. Your phone corrects you too. My phone has decided that it knows more about what I want to say than I do. And my fat thumbs. I hit the J instead of the H. A lot of times I'm typing like what or so, and it's done started. It'll auto correct when I type it right. It'll auto correct it to the WJAT instead of A. You smart, Ellie. Randy, about right. We had started to get some more animals. My problem is with everything we've had going on. There's times of the year when I could well do animals and be fine, but we do a lot of events and go places and do stuff and camping trips. And when I'm gone, me having a bunch of animals, we got the chickens and stuff, but me bringing in like sheep and cows and all that kind of stuff, I decided it wasn't worth. I wouldn't get the benefit. We are going to try to get some meat birds. I want to get them over in July to where I can process them in the fall. I don't want to process them in the heat. So we've held off on getting any till probably sometime in July and raise them from the heat into the cooler weather. And I think they'll do better then. So I don't know. They about $4 or $5 a piece, I think, but we're gonna get us some and raise them. So or attempt to is the plan. David Rush, my fig tree is loaded. It was loaded early in the year. Of course, they all dropped off, which is normal, I think. But I've got a good many, and my apple tree is loaded. Now, I didn't have any peaches, but I'll tell you why I didn't have any peaches. For some reason, my peach trees bloomed out back during like Christmas. I mean, it got warm. I put that teepee up out there on Christmas Eve, and it was warm weather. And my peach trees out there, all of them was just bloomed out. So I don't know what happened to them. They didn't have a prayer then. That was, to deal with aphids. When I get a lot of aphids, I usually spray Malathion, but that mountain mint, we've got a hoary mountain mint here, is what it's called. I've done videos on it using different stuff with it. I've made bug spray out of it. It and the beauty berry or beauty bush. Uh, but that mint, you can transplant it from the woods in between some of your tomatoes, and it is supposed to repel. Marigolds is supposed to help. So we put some marigolds in there, and it's helped a little bit. It's not one of them foolproof. I don't know. I've tried a lot of natural stuff, and it helps. Like if you do several different natural things, you can kind of win the battle, but you've got to really stay on top of it. It's like sprinkling wood ash. Wood ash works, but the way wood ash works to repel bugs and different things is you got to sprinkle it all over your plant, and they get that in their exoskeleton and it irritates them till they leave, like they're uncomfortable there. Well, every time it rains and washes that off, well, you got to reapply it. So if you don't stay on top of that, you lose the battle. So I've got to where it's for me, it's effective to go through there and just spray and mix stuff like You don't have to mix it to where it's so strong that you're worried about getting poisoned by it. And some people are totally against pesticides altogether, and I respect that. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. I mean, there are ways, but like me, it's we got so much going on, and I'm trying to do so many. I'm trying to film fishing videos, and trying to work the knife shop, trying to see after a garden, do all this other stuff too, and it just I don't have time to stay in that garden every day. Like that's the only thing I do. So for me to be effective at it, it takes me spraying some stuff, and I don't spray a lot. Usually, if I go through and spray my garden one time, I try to time stuff. Like the other day, I sprayed these peas for the grass with that poke. I should have done that back earlier, but I've waited really too late to do it, but it'll still work. But as they start blooming and putting peas on there before they get ripe, I can go through there. Usually I go through and get the first picking off. Like I'll pick my first set of peas. Then I could come in and spray with like a liquid seven spray, mix it light, and the rest of my peas will stay good. If I don't come in and spray about that time, the second and third picking of peas will have a lot of bug holes in them. They'll be stung, what we call it. So if I time it right, I don't have to spray a lot of it, in other words. And you can do your guard like that to battle some of that stuff. But as far as natural, I would probably lean towards planting the mint in there, would probably be the best help with the aphids on tomatoes. Because once I've got tomato fruit, I really don't like to come in and spray a liquid on it. That's why I got to using the granulated ain't poison on my squash and stuff because I found it to be really effective, and it keeps those bugs repelled away from the garden, and those granules fall down on the ground. They're not up there soaking into my fruit. And I just don't believe in a plant leaching the poison up through there enough that it's gonna hurt me. Uh, it just the root systems filter out so much that if it was gonna hurt me, it would kill that plant. Uh, so I don't a lot of people worry that oh you leaching up poison, it's gonna give you cancer. And I don't believe that. So crawling on me. Driveway mechanic said, "Do you treat your house for termites yourself, or do you hire a company?" I do it myself. I mix a real strong permethrin, which we buy a high yield product called 38 Plus. And its active ingredient is permethrin, and it's a high concentrate of it. And you can actually take it and water it down a good bit and put it in a mister bottle and spray your clothes and stuff before you go camping and you tent and all of that stuff. And it'll help keep ticks and stuff like that repelled out of your gear. But I spray that around. My house is built on a slab, but it has 6x6 wood post holding those metal trusses up. It's like a barn dominium metal building or whatever. I built a house in it. And I spray mainly around where those posts are. I'll soak the ground around wherever one of them posts are around it about twice a year. And so far it has worked. Now we've had termites get in the house a time or two. Like I would forget about it, wouldn't spray it again or whatever, and they got in the pantry. And I wasn't really spraying the front like I should have been because there's two slabs. Like my house slab's here and it drops down, and my porch is 12-foot slab. And I wasn't thinking about that post in the middle, so I had to go back and start really spraying good right where that post is at. And they were coming up to that post and getting in the pantry. And I've sprayed inside the wall, and it killed them. This stuff, that permethrin will kill them. So Daryl Garrett, y'all been on the lake. I don't blame you for that. It's a good reason to miss alive. I'll give you a pass on that. Chambers, I have never found mugwort. It seems like I seen mugwort here a time or two and didn't realize what it was. And then when I started looking for it, I never could find any. We've got some stuff growing here, like rabbit tobacco grows here in areas. It don't grow on my property that much. So I have I should have transplanted some here and let it just go, but every time I find some, I think I gotta pick it. And I've got a bunch picked, but I usually can find it different areas. So talking about peroxide in that dish soap deal, peroxide is good to put on like blighted like stuff, like especially squash and cucumbers. But now I sprayed the other day when I went through and did all my spraying. I sprayed several different things on different. I didn't spray like multiple things on one plant. But my squash, my tomatoes, and my cucumbers, I sprayed them with Mancozeb. I think that's how you pronounce that. And it is a grayish looking liquid in a jar, and it is for early and late blight. So I sprayed that, but they say that you can spray peroxide, mix it, and that it will help with some of that blight and yellowing and stuff on your squash and different plants like that. So I don't know. You can try that as well. Robert said the deer is the biggest pest. You can a deer or process a deer in the summer as good as you can, and just eat the deer. Here, honest to God, most of our game and fish, if you've got a garden, you've got deer eating your stuff, and you go shoot one, they don't say a word. They don't care. They don't want you trophy hunting them at night, but we've got so many deer, and now we've got so many houses. There ain't nowhere for the deer to be, so they in your garden. I mean, let's just face it. Here east of the Mississippi River, there's way too many of us folks living in one area. The country areas ain't country no more. It's all like a big subdivision now. Robert said he don't know what it typed to eat the top side of. It said the hospice plants. Oh, I like that autocorrect stuff, y'all. That is funny. They eat the top side of your hospice plants. Oh Lord. Chambers, we if you go buy a bag of anything for potting soil, it's chipped up wood. I quit buying it. There is a bag of stuff here called Bacto that is actually dirt. Oh, and that's what if I have to buy potting soil, that's what we buy. It's Bacto. It's in a kind of a black and burgundy looking colored bag. I don't know, but it if you find that somewhere, that's what you want. It'll do it. JH Outdoor Living, good night. Thank you for hanging out with us for a while. We ain't gonna be up no great long while. We're gonna kill it here about 9 o'clock. I don't know how far that company sells their stuff. I hadn't bought a bag in a while, so I don't know where it's actually made. I know they have it on pallets here at the several of our local feed store type places that you can buy. I know the co-op has it. I know Williams Brothers has it. I don't know if the gin sells any of that. Most of their stuff is feed. I don't think they have it. They may have at different times. They sell some seed and stuff. Sharon Davis, you're just now joining in, but hey, better late than never. You hadn't missed a whole lot. Cajun Holiday said Bacto Light is what they use to start their plants. It's the only thing I found that's actually dirt. I don't know why. Y'all going to watch a movie? Driveway mechanic, I'm 100% with you. I used to when I worked a full-time job, I loved the longer days because I could work all day. And when I got home, I still had plenty of time to do stuff around the house. But now that I kind of work for myself, I get up and go to that knife shop in the morning and I can quit anytime during the day and go piddle around and do my whatever I need to do. I'll stop in the middle of working on a knife. I get to think about, well, I need to go check on this or check on that. And I'll go feed chickens or water the garden or this, that, other, whatever. And I work till I'm just tired working, and I got lights in there. I can work if it's raining. It don't matter. So I'm kind of on my own time, my own schedule. And I have discovered that I don't have sense enough to quit at a decent hour. I'm gonna stay outside doing something till it gets dark. And then when I come in and I'm war slam out and I sit down in the recliner, I've turned a movie on 3 nights in a row and I ain't got halfway through it yet. I discovered I wanted to watch Tim Conway and Don Knotts in that movie Private Eyes. And I've watched them burn that gas station down twice with a cigar. And I mean, I ain't made it much further than that yet. And it's because time I come in, we eat supper. We eat supper usually at 9 o'clock. And, it's just now getting dark and it's about 8:45, 8:30. Well, time you get set down, it's 9:30. Shoot, it's time to go to bed. Otherwise, you up late and then you sleep late the next day, and then you get a late start on the day. Well, now then it's already hot time you get out there to do anything. I'm a fan of the shorter days now. I'm just if it gonna get dark about you know I 7 o'clock, I can at least be in by 8. That would help me tremendously. I used to be a fan of daylight savings time, and now the older I get, the more I wish they would just put it on one of them. I don't care which one, and leave it alone and let me adjust to it and quit moving it. I guess I'm getting old and cantankerous. But I'll be honest with you. This, as far as the time change deal, I don't hardly ever look at the time. The only time I look at a time is like when we got to go to church. I need to know what time I need to be at church. When we do live on Saturday night, I need to know what time to start it. And if I've got somewhere I've got to be, like I went to a restaurant and did a devotion one day this week, and I did it a couple weeks ago. I need to know what time it is. Other than that, I just kind of come and go as I please and do my thing. And I go, is it daylight? Is it dark? You know, but like Jerry Clower said, what's time to a hog? Chambers of South, what is rabbit tobacco? Oh, sweet everlasting. Oh, it's got several names. Nagphalum obtusifolium is the scientific name. Uh, and it turns really white, grayish looking in the fall when it dies. It is green on the top, really white underside, usually about yay tall, a foot to 2 foot. Um, and it's got a distinct smell to it, and they call it rabbit tobacco. But it's if you look up Nagphallium. That's GNAPH, Nagphallium obtusifolium. If I think I'm correct. Winchester said, "What was the situation at the dam you referred to a week or so ago?" You're gonna have to refresh my memory. I'm like drawing a complete blank on that. I don't know. The situation at the dam. It's Nagphthallium. It's G Nagphthallium obtusifolium. Let me do something right here. I'll hope you. I'm looking it up and find the correct. I just typed in rabbit tobacco on Google. This says pseudo Nagphthallium obtusifolium. Oh, where is my Wikipedia? Yeah. All right, it's now they going by pseudo. The book I had just said Nagphthallium. Now it's saying pseudo Nagphthallium. I'm gonna paste it. I put it in the chat. That way you can see it. No, Bobby Diamond, I have not checked up with the repairs at that parking equipment, and I need to because I really need to go down there and set up my camper and spend a week down there just trapping beavers, and I can come back, stay at the camper, and get a shower and all that because it's mighty hot to be sleeping in a hammock. But I mean, I don't mind it as long as I got the bug net and I can keep the mosquitoes off of me. I can sleep, sweat, don't matter. Just I stink when I get home. Yeah, you can look that up, and I'm gonna tell you a good website. Let me let me see if I've got it linked. I don't know how to operate everything on this iPad, so oh, I don't know how to get to my history on here. Bookmarks. Uh, I've got it saved in my. I think it's naturalmedicinalherbs.net. Let me see. Yes. This website right here, naturalmedicinalherbs.net. I have found I have the biggest variety of herbs and the easiest usability. Share, I'm going to copy the link and I'm fixing to post this link in the chat bar. You copy this link and go check out this website right there. Oh, I found a lot of stuff and a lot of good information on stuff that I couldn't find anywhere else. It's had plants that I couldn't find in other websites, and I have found it to be accurate with most things. That is the problem with finding medicinal plant information online. is anybody can get on the internet and just write whatever they want to, like they're a doctor or something, and some of them are right and some of them are wrong, and you've got to filter through all that. That's like me. I can get on here and tell you all this stuff about medicinal plants, and for what it's worth, I may not know my end from a hole in the ground and be wrong on all of it. You don't know that. I try to make sure when I share something, talk about something, that I know what I'm talking about. I've tested it. I've actually taken it, tasted of it, used it. And so that's why do stuff that just grows right around my area. I don't do all these plants that grows off somewhere else. And so I try to actually use it and do stuff with it. And this website has been accurate. I have found some people that man, they would be talking about plants. I watched this one guy and he gets hundreds of thousands of views on his video. And he was talking about this plant doing this what did he call it now? It was something he was getting caffeine out of and all of this. He was calling it a yopon or something, and it was a privet hedge. He was standing by old Japanese privet hedge calling it Yopon Holly, and Yopon Holly was a whole different plant. And I'm like, and man, these people's just, I mean, he's fully convinced. And I didn't, of course, I didn't comment on his video to try to correct him. But that's like people with the gumballs, sweet gumballs. There is a slight medicinal value in the sweet gum, but everybody got on this big kick about tincturing these sweet gum balls green. Well, the actual medicinal value, you can get some out of the sweet gum balls, but the gum, the sap out of that tree is where the medicinal value is. I mean, if you're going to use it, you need to use the quality, powerful parts of it, which would be the gum. But people wanted to tincture them gumballs because that was trending on the internet. And it got, and there is only one book that I've got that even briefly mentions using the fruit on the sweet gum tree. So you have to take what you get off the internet with a grain of salt. Oh no, driveway mechanic. We buy a lot of stuff. We try to eat a lot of natural stuff. I eat a lot of deer meat. We eat a lot of fish and garden vegetables. But yes, we go. We was going and buying a steer at a local. I say local. It was in another town, but a butcher shop, and they were processing steers right here. And the last one we had processed was so terrible. The steaks. I cooked steaks one night, and we had guest over, and it was embarrassing. They were not fit. Little old girl that was here, she couldn't even hardly chew steak up, and I said, never again. It's not. I mean, they just wasn't good. And it don't matter how all this is natural, and this, we saving money, and but they wasn't good. So we go to the grocery store and buy a lot of stuff because really it's out of necessity. But now we do a lot of grinding up deer meat, and we eat a lot of ground deer meat. So, in fact, that's what Michelle made meatloaf out of tonight was some ground deer meat. I think that we had. Chambers, yeah, I would love to have some jewel weed. You can email me or message me on Facebook or anything. I'll get you an address, which I put the address in a lot of my comments. It's Spirit of the Outdoors, Post Office Box 144, Philadelphia, Mississippi 39350. Yeah, I that Chat GPT I have used a lot of trying to work on things, and it's correct on a lot of stuff. I've caught it wrong in several things. So it'll have you chasing your tail on stuff. It wants you to really get in there and diagnose, but for basic things, it's pretty sharp. You can take it and go work on stuff, but I, I'm skeptical. Just getting like I took a picture of a snake and this is this kind of snake, and then I pulled it up on the internet and it wasn't there about close. It's so yeah, dog fennel David Rush, and I've heard to use that in a dog bed and it would repel the fleas and ticks off of them if they slip on it. I don't know that to be a fact. It could be. I don't know. I see David Rushing he asked Unc if you ever thought about starting a fire with a flintlock. A flintlock is a very good way to start a fire. You can start char cloth. You can actually load a light load of powder and not pack it, and actually burn the powder out of the barrel with a flintlock and start a fire. Because if you don't pack it tight, it won't explode, but it'll poof, and you can catch dried stuff on fire. Jennifer Brody was out here for the longest, and he asked where you was at with Sparkles. So he remembered you. He couldn't remember what your name was, but he knew about Sparkles. So he did inquire tonight when he was out here about Sparkles. I told him his birthday is July the 17th. I told him if he didn't get that room cleaned up, he wouldn't on get no birthday presents. I was really gonna buy him one of these big Lego Star Wars things, one of them big $100. But he's got Legos. He won't leave them together. We'll put something together, and then a week he's got it tore all back apart. He can't leave it alone. I said, no, no, I ain't spending no $100 on something we put it together and it don't stay together. I ain't doing it. Like Heather Lands, I ain't doing it. Y'all, I am probably fixing to go. Every other Saturday, you mod for a 3 hour live. Oh Lord, I don't know if I got the energy for 3 hours of live. I watch them numbers. They start out about 200. One night we had 500 people in here. I don't know what happened that weekend. I guess everybody fell in love with me and then found out they didn't like me because they didn't come back. But anyway, I don't know if I can do a 3 hour live. Woo. I'm gonna be honest with you. After sitting on the water all day today fishing, the sun. I done discovered in my older age, the sun takes more of my energy than actual physical work. If I do physical work like the other day, I got out there and I did several things, and man, by the end of the day, I felt good. I mean, I felt like I could have whooped a bear, but I probably couldn't have. But just sitting out there on the water doing nothing today, fishing, I was like, I am wore out. Your wife was on July the 16th. Well, Brody's birthday is on the 17th. Mine is on June the 18th. So mine's coming up pretty quick. Lizzie's was this past week. Hers was June the 10th. Her anniversary was June the 7th. John, good night. Look, y'all, I am probably fixing to shut everything down. I wanted to mention one thing before we close this out. Remember, we are getting close to 50,000 subscribers. We are going to do a knife giveaway. I've got a Bowie in there that I've been toting, using. I done gave away my Jonah knife. I don't even have a knife no more. But I got a Bowie knife that I've used in some videos. I'm going to try to use it in some upcoming videos here for a little while. Probably going to just give that knife away at 50,000. The way to be entered into that drawing, once we hit 50,000, I will not be announcing for 2 weeks that there's gonna be a giveaway on video stuff. I'm telling y'all because y'all are the cream of the crop. I'm gonna pick people out of the comments from the previous videos, but videos from the last couple of weeks for the next till we've got about 1,000 go. We close to 49,000 right now when I started this. If we may have picked up, no, we may be at it now, I don't know. But we're almost to 49,000, so we've got about 1,000. So we should hit it within a month at the rate we're growing. And I'm just gonna pop up. We're gonna do a knife giveaway, and I'm gonna pull a name out of a hat, and it's gonna be out of people that has commented on regular videos. That's how you get just to keep y'all engaged. And I want to pick from people that actually watch and support what we do here. I don't want to be like, okay, comment on this video to be entered into a drawing, because then you get people commenting on it that ain't never watched one of your videos, and I ain't giving them one of my knives. Simple as that. That kind of sorry of me. So anyway, this thing has turned slam off. Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. I'm at 49.1. Uncle Sasquatch, we have broke 49,000. We on our way there. We're gonna get there. So anyway, thank y'all for watching tonight. I appreciate it. I have had fun. I enjoyed doing it. Um, another thing, since we didn't buffer and mess up and all that, I don't guess we got to go to trying to do a vertical live stream. So I was going to ask about that. But is everybody happy with the way we're doing live? Starting at 7? Had you rather start at 8, or I mean, y'all, everything good? Y'all rather do it Friday night, Saturday night? Right now, it don't really matter to me. Um, in the fall, I have some stuff going on that Saturday nights are really better for me then. But as right now, middle of the summer, it don't really matter to me. So y'all got input on that? Send me a message, leave a comment in some of the videos. If you leave it on here right now, it'll disappear. I won't ever see it. But you can come back once this becomes a video and do it. And yeah, Uncle Sasquatch, I'm kind of that way. I kind of like the way it is, but every now and then, I mean, I don't mind input if things are, because I don't keep up with everything that's going on in the world, like ball games and all these sport events and stuff that goes on. I know in the fall, once we start, I know a lot of football fans watching football on Saturday night, and it affects them being able to watch the live. So, as far as me, I'm happy with the way we're doing it. I just wanted to see if anybody else was like, oh, never do vertical. I'm I have not done any vertical lives on YouTube. I've done some vertical lives on Facebook, and I may do some more here before long because my Facebook page has started suffering. All of my stuff is not getting a lot of views. Um, I don't know if it's just a lull. A lot. Somebody said it's due to a lot of people are busy, they're doing stuff, and they're not at home, stuck in the house watching videos, which makes a lot of sense for me. But I don't watch a lot. Which really, I watch more up in the day while I'm working. The bad thing about it is I don't really watch it. It's just over there playing. So, I ain't really getting nothing out of it, and I can't comment on that when I do it that way. So then I have to go, like if I watch Uncle Sasquatch's video, then I got to go back and get on my phone, pull it up, and leave him a comment so he knows I watched it. And I'm behind, Unc. I ain't watched the one the last day because I worked all day yesterday, and then I've been fishing all day today, and I ain't watched nothing the last 2 days. I come in, was gonna watch that movie I was telling y'all about a while ago, and nodded straight off. So I may go attempt to watch it again tonight. So anyway, everybody's good with the way things are. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors, joining us for live from Mississippi. Remember, the best way to do things is a way. You like to do it. We'll see y'all